And welcome back to the Hot Lap. We are talking Drive to Survive Episode 1, titled Business as Usual. Yes, from Christian Horner shenanigans to Lewis Hamilton signing for Ferrari. Let's go. So, we have watched the episode itself, and yes, Christian Horner features a lot. In terms of actually the Christian Horner story, I think, in the actual episode itself, overshadows the Lewis Hamilton story going to Ferrari, although there were potentially tears from a Toto Wolff. So, this is obviously motorsport.com. And they've got a nice little synopsis, which we'll get into at first, in relation to what happened in episode 1 of Drive to Survive. As it says here, shining a light both on track and off track behind the scenes drama. Now, in terms of the full series, yes, they're going to be spoilers in these reviews. This is episode 1. Absolute spoilers, but business as usual. Wow, Christian Horner does not look happy there at all, does he? But the synopsis is basically the first episode of the new season focuses on both the Christian Horner workplace misconduct allegations and Lewis Hamilton's move to Ferrari. The pressure mounts on Red Bull's team boss with opposite numbers, for example, Toto Wolff, Zach Brown, and McLaren clearly loving it. Now, during the episode, Christian Horner obviously gets quite angry in relation to those allegations, and he does say Zach is a PICK, and we're going to repeat it, and that's what Horner declares, obviously not to Zach's face, but as he's walking away, the microphones are on. At this point, to be fair, anyone in Drive to Survive absolutely knows what is going on. They know the cameras are nearly always on. They know the microphones are nearly always on, so that's kind of on purpose. But he was needled by the American in a press conference, and the Red Bull principal then almost goes into meltdown when you hear, and it's quite nicely done in the actual episode, you hear the do. Everyone's looking at their phone, and it's all these WhatsApp messages that were sent out to pretty much everyone in Formula One, including the press. And Horner claims in the interview here, it was obviously premeditated to cause me the maximum amount of distraction, the maximum amount of aggravation. Horner claims it was obvious that the end goal was for me to leave Red Bull. And yeah, to be fair, kind of agree. I do feel that was the end goal. Now, he also intimates that he knows who was behind the leak. When Netflix actually asked him that question, it's just the most awkwardly long pause in awkwardly long pause history. And also what happens, once again, I said it's overshadowed by the other story, which is kind of a good news story compared to this. Hamilton declares the new Mercedes liveries as rubbish, but he's going to Ferrari. But to be fair, he openly said he doesn't like the livery. It's kind of like two cars in one. But there we go. Let's talk about, first of all, Hamilton to Ferrari. This was the big bombshell for all of us all the way now, over a year ago, back in February. How did it happen? They don't really go into how it really happened. That's one thing in this episode, at least, in episode 1, that they kind of missed. Now, how did it happen? Well, Lewis Hamilton in 2023 signed what was a 1 + 1 year deal for 24 and 25. What does that 1 + 1 year deal mean? Well, the 1 + 1 year deal essentially means that Lewis Hamilton is going to be at Mercedes, obviously for 2024, and then it's up to Mercedes and Hamilton in 2025. So there is a clause in his contract where either Hamilton can say no thank you, or Mercedes can say no thank you, which you might think is fair enough, but Hamilton wanted, I think, a secure multi-year contract. At least that's what was reported. And Mercedes kind of said no. And also, Hamilton wanted an ambassador role. He's been with Mercedes at this point all of his life, never had any other engine behind him other than a Mercedes when you remember back to his McLaren days. But then, and it wasn't necessarily, this would have been above Toto Wolff's head. Toto Wolff is like, nah. No, I obviously I can't do it. This is not shown in the Drive to Survive series, but this has just been the reports. And the decision may have been taken above Toto Wolff's head. And then Lewis like, well, you don't have any faith in me, I guess. Why, I'm just going to go somewhere else that gives me the opportunities I want. Ergo, he ends up signing for Ferrari. And even Toto Wolff is obviously a little tear in his eye, but he said it's a hair, and then obviously he jokes that it's you're going to show that now. Now at the launch, Lewis Hamilton, as we know, the car looked okay. So I like the car, many people do, but Hamilton was very honest about the way he felt about the actual car. the way he felt about the livery, not the actual car itself. And yeah, it wasn't particularly good, was it? It wasn't particularly good. A few jokes and jibes, obviously, from George Russell in relation to Lewis Hamilton going to Mercedes, which I thought was quite interesting. But the big thing was Christian Horner and the allegations, the inappropriate allegations in relation to the whole WhatsApp saga. But even before we get into the WhatsApp saga, there were these allegations for an employee. There was an investigation, and on the eve of the Bahrain Grand Prix, it was nothing to see here. Thank you very much. Everything is quashed. Business as usual, essentially. But, and this is the issue, we had all the WhatsApp. Now, this is obviously a allow whatever. This is obviously an interview in relation for Christian Horner, which I thought was quite interesting.
This year, there is this investigation which we all know about. Are you all right on a personal level? You're carrying on as team principal and chief executive. Did you give any thought to maybe stepping aside from those duties temporarily while?
Yeah, so did you give any thought to stepping aside from those duties? The issue there was he was at the Red Bull team launch just as these allegations were coming in, and he was going to be there. And quite rightly, I guess, for Christian Horner, he was defiant in his, I'm not going to go anywhere, which I can kind of understand at this point. And continuing on, they've always been nothing proven, allegations, innocent and proven guilty. Where, as you could make an argument, well, okay, he's going to, the media storm won't be particularly great. We'll get into that in a bit. But this is what Christian Horner said in respect of what's happening at Red Bull and kind of giving an answer to the allegations.
While all this is sorted out?
No, it's business as usual. There obviously is a process. Obviously, I fully deny any accusations that have been made against me. But of course, I'll work with that process, which I hope is concluded in the near future.
Is it regrettable that it's come?
I mean, yeah. I won't play any more of that. But I generally thought that was quite interesting. So the allegation comes out, and by the Bahrain Grand Prix, I think either on the Friday or the Saturday. But the eve of the actual Grand Prix itself, it's all done and dusted. The news is coming in. Christian Horner is cleared, and then the beeps. The beeps coming in. Everyone gets this WhatsApp, this waft of messages that Christian Horner allegedly said to his accuser, and pictures that Christian Horner allegedly shared to his accuser. Now, the only thing that I find really interesting up until now in relation to this is that at no point, and this could be because of Christian Horner's lawyers, no point is Christian, he denies the allegations, but he doesn't deny the WhatsApp allegations, which I think is quite interesting. And it's got obviously people talking on Reddit, talking on X, which is something I'd like to have a look at on what other people think about the episode. Reddit have got some megaphone, which is in link below, which I thought was interesting. So, I mean, let's have a look at the Twitter, because there's a few recent tweets in relation to it, which I thought was interesting. I mean, this guy here, Rems, per Horner's request, the British media has been told not to report the sexual harassment case. This is quite recent. Is this in relation to the Drive to Survive, which is refreshed, everyone's memory refreshed in the news? That's what De Telegraaf, which is a Dutch newspaper. Once again, massive pinches of salt taken with everything. This is a few hours ago. A fairly conclusive analysis of where the text messages alleged from Christian Horner are real, and why Redemption episode and Drive to Survive is incredibly foul behaviour. Yes, or not particularly good. Someone's put, if you watch DTS, Drive to Survive, episode dealing with Horner's harassment allegations and don't think he did it, and those texts are real, you're a stupid person. Not once did he outright deny the text. He can't. This is the issue I have. But is this something his lawyers have said? We know how good AI is. I'm not saying it is, but someone's put, just a reminder, Christian Horner allegedly harassed a female work colleague. They say sexually, but don't really, is that in? And is still walking around the paddock like nothing happened. This is just opinions of other people. This is all the way back in 2020, 2024. But this is not a fan of Drive to Survive Series 7 episode with the allegations against Christian Horner out to be some gossip exercise. Lacked any seriousness it required. Not surprised, but they could have done much better. I thought, yeah, absolutely, Bridget. and they could have done much better. The but is, this is an ongoing allegation because there is a tribunal hearing, albeit it's just under a year from now, January 2026, which is absolutely ridiculous. That is why I think they couldn't delve too deep into it on Drive to Survive. And also, it's Formula One, not the Red Bull politics show, which I kind of understand, but I felt it was addressed enough in this episode to remind us what was going on, and it didn't paint a picture either way. So when asked about watching DTS, the way they depicted the allegations against Horner is disgusting, painting it as a challenge for him and the team, that it is a woman's life and career, not drama or material for you to manipulate, and he walks around like nothing happened, but they want us to feel bad. To be fair, they did suggest that Christian Horner was a victim in relation to this. Please bear with me. That is there we go. Yeah, they did suggest he was a victim in relation to this for more than anything. But we don't know the full truth. What I can say in relation to all these Horner allegations, etc., is that the way Red Bull and Christian Horner and everyone absolutely branded it and have dealt with it is really, really silly. They promised transparency. There was transparency. The complete lack of transparency, but is that because they're issues and they're not allowed? And also in the episode itself, you had Geri Horner. You had Geri Horner herself, basically whistled out by Christian Horner, and I mean I'm going to try and Halliwell and Horner in Bahrain in Bahrain. I'm going to let's see the image. She just looked absolutely like a rabbit in headlights, in my opinion. And obviously with this WhatsApp messages coming out, there was a suggestion that Christian Horner was, if not cheating, getting very flirty, let's say, with people. But she just doesn't look. She almost looks like a hostage, if I'm honest. Let's have a look then. I'm just going to get this. Let's just get this here, because I'm kind of like, this is all live now, isn't it? There we go. There we go. I mean, look at that. It just looks, I don't know, her face, she don't look happy. There's a couple of times where she's always, when you look at that particular footage, she's forcing a smile. And let's be fair, I thought she was a good actress in Gran Turismo, but she wasn't particularly good if she was trying to be happy there. But yeah, it was clearly not happy. But then we need to have a look at the other side of this. If indeed this is malicious, then it's absolutely horrible for Christian Horner, isn't it? And we said that if it isn't, absolutely nasty. Now the Reddit discussion for this, and they put the drivers react feel like the Teletubbies. This is season 1, business as usual. Let's see if there's any interesting quotes. What I really want to see is how they climbed up there. Oh, this is obviously this is the picture. Fair enough. Fair enough, I guess. So Lewis thought Carlos was going to swap seats with him. Sounds like he expected Toto to have called. Sainz and Lewis just casually chatting about Mercedes during the press conference was great. Yes, we got that. I thought that was quite interesting. Lewis telling Carlos he doesn't think Mercedes can get back on top. He didn't really say that. There was a suggestion. Can they get back on top? And Lewis didn't. He played it very grey in that. Love the way they covered Sainz win appendix, and they put, completely forgotten about that, but they did cover that in that first episode. There we go. Geri is absolutely dead inside when they're doing the walk down to the paddock in Bahrain. Yes, they absolutely were. The weird put on smile she had during the walk, like everything is totally fine. It was awful to watch, but so was Horner in half the episode. Guy looked like he was walking in a daze, like when the comms guy noticed, and he said it didn't seem like himself. If he was Christian Horner, hadn't brought it upon himself, we don't know that for sure. But I thought that's quite interesting. Anyway, the episode I really enjoyed it. I'll probably give it a 4 out of 5 if we're giving marks. Some people thought it was a bit slow. Yes, there was some Formula action, but it covered the 2 biggest stories over the winter going into the 2024 season, which needed to be covered. So fair play to it. And they didn't really, yes, they did kind of intimate Horner was a victim, but I still didn't feel like they really changed sides, if I'm honest. So if you made it to the end, please give us a subscribe. That would be absolutely fantastic. I'd really, really appreciate that. If you're not subscribed, if you are, but you want to help a bit more other than just clicking on it and watching this video, which is enough for us here, hit that like button, comment below, let us know what you think. And until then, thank you very much. Stay safe and speak to you soon.